So we talked about basketball, we talked about a little bit of football. But let's go ahead and get into our main topic. Let's talk about this streaming wars now. For we've been stuck in the house. Let's go back a little bit before this whole quarantine thing, before streaming started off, and talk about how like all it really was to stream was Netflix. Like you had Netflix, you may have Prime, but even if Prime wasn't really getting that, like it is maybe now. But really, you just had Netflix, and I would say maybe over the course of a year and a half, you had, I think Disney Plus was like the major one that really opened the door. And then now,
Hulu, a lot of people still had Hulu as well.
Yeah, I'll give Hulu that.
Yeah.
Hulu was different though, and the reason why I never compared Hulu and Netflix was Netflix had stuff that, oh, this looks kind of good, I'll take a look at it. I think with Hulu, you knew what you wanted to go watch from Hulu.
That's true.
Hulu focused more on the TV aspect
Right.
of it.
You,
Streaming
if,
TV
if
shows.
you had,
That's
if you
what
had
they
a
focused
show
on.
that you know you watched, whether it was Grey's Anatomy or Blackish or whatever the fuck you wanted to watch, you knew what you want to watch Hulu. I think Netflix is one of those things where you find it, and also Netflix was killing it with the original content. Between Orange is the New Black, Stranger Things, and things like that.
I probably say Orange is the New Black, Stranger Things, and when in the Marvel
shows, yeah,
a Netflix series, those probably made it easier to make original content. So now, because ever since those came out, it seems like Netflix is dropping something every, like Old Guard. The Old Guard was pretty dope. I did like Old Guard.
And they started getting into movies like the Bodyguard. What was the Samuel Jackson and Ryan Reynolds movie?
Oh yeah, the Hitman's Assassin.
The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yeah,
Hitman's Bodyguard.
That movie released in theaters and it released on Netflix, so you had an option to watch the movie either way. And so that was dope. And so Netflix, like I said, they started getting into a lot of movies. I read like a couple of years ago where they said they were going to build but the thing about streaming, like it caught up late, but because I just happened to on a whim just start watching it, and I think it was the nostalgia of the 80s that just like caught a lot of people. And then you were in past that, like it feels that you were done.
Like the first two episodes, it was like I remember because I started watching it at I was working at Verizon at the time, and it was slow at work. I started looking at it like on then, and then it was just like the first episode. I was like, it had that 80s scary movie feel to it, but it wasn't like scary. Like it wasn't like gory. It was just that jump scare aspect.
To be honest, and that was the thing. Like it was like a pleasant surprise. Like it was no promotion around it. Like I said, if you stumbled into it, then it was like, yo, this shit is legit. And like I said, that's what worked, because that's what happened with me. And then I started spreading the word, like, yo, you gotta check out Stranger Things or whatever. And then that's when like you just saw the internet just start going crazy with it. But that one was a sleeper that I don't think not many. A lot of the good shows though Netflix is canceling, like Mindhunter, like the serial killer show. Like they cancel. I can see why they canceled a bunch of the Marvel shows. Is Marvel's trying to tell a story with all their shows, so they're trying to get those properties back.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it. And they didn't have an outlet at first, and now with Disney practically being their outlet and or whatever, so it's like they have their own service to pretty much keep their content in house, because that's when Netflix needed to start with their own originals, is because a lot of those contracts with Disney and places like that weren't going to be renewed for that content. And so like In-Game and all of those coming to Netflix, like that kept people around. But a lot of those titles, you know, they would go off, come back, because Netflix would have to pay to license to, you know, play them for a certain amount of time.
I think what it is as well too, and this is, I think, and I was trying to explain to someone, within the next, I think 5 years, Netflix is not going to be, I think it's going to, because right now they're still losing money. They spend a lot more money than they are bringing in, because one, that's why they're trying to cut down on the number of logins that you can have to one single account, because, and this is the reason why they end a lot of like their series early, because once it becomes that popular, it gets that word of mouth, and then those actors, they want to get paid. And so what Netflix does is that they cancel the series so they don't have to pay those actors that money anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why you get a lot of seasons that end in like season 3 or season 4 on that end of it. And so I think what's going to happen is that with the Peacock and HBO Max and pretty much every pretty much streaming service, as far as network wise, they have their own streaming service. So they're going to want to keep their content. Yeah, they're going to start pulling their content. So a lot of the things that we go to look for now,
like the Hawks leaving.
And so what's going to happen, especially all the Marvel movies are going to start leaving and start coming from there. I think what's going to happen is that they haven't built upon their own content enough, and they got rid of so many good series, is that they're not going to survive. They're not going to keep bringing out content to keep people subscribed. Where I can just.
Well, I think they're gonna do what HBO did. They're gonna partner with a studio.
Yeah,
that's the only way that they can survive. In my opinion, they're gonna partner
with the studio, and then they're gonna be able to do and because this is what the model is gonna be now. You're gonna get movies that are gonna stream to home and then stream to on the same day, or maybe a week delay. But it won't be this whole several month delay that you were running into before you can stream a movie on demand at home. Like that window's going to be drastically cut down now. But because for some reason, like, people just still want to. I get directors wanting they made their movies for theatrical releases, things of that sort. But at the same time, I think a lot of their griping is because they get back ends off of like box office.
Oh yeah,
and
big
stuff
time,
like that.
big time.
So
I mean, think about like this though.
Because a stream, it's back to that music thing with a physical copy and a stream. Mm-hmm. Like, it both accomplished exactly cut me on a stream as opposed to a physical copy of something. So that's where I think where the argument's coming in, is because they know for them it won't be as profitable.
Right.
Because, and then I think with theatrical releases is certain things allow you to not pay as closely attention to a movie line. If I'm watching a movie at home, I can turn the subtitles on. I can read through it. Now everything's catching my attention. When you're in a theater, the sounds throw you off. Sometimes you just got everything else going on around you to where you don't necessarily have the clearest focus you need. I think that was a part of Christopher Nolan's argument with Tenet. Yeah, is because he felt he would have gotten too picked over or too analyzed at home. Like, you paid too close attention to it. Right. And I don't think he wanted you to pay that much attention to it, but as a more of the theatrics and just thinking about shit happening forward and back, Inception was, but not trying to actually like comprehend it.
Yeah, you can't pause it, you can't rewind it. That's like how Inception was. Like, Inception, you had to see that movie like 2 or 3 times, and we didn't.
Inception though is it built out like Inception. You knew what was happening the whole time. In Tenet, you kind of got lost in some points, right? Yeah. Because it was more so based on, like I said, with Inception, the storytelling in Inception just went well. I think with Tenet, if you wanted to thoroughly tell that story, that movie would have been damn near 4 hours long, to be honest with you. Yeah. If you wanted to really guide audiences fully through and help them understand. But he cut corners. He presumed, he didn't want you to, he just needed you to understand that there was a team working forward and a team working backwards, not how that was actually happening or how that was physically capable. But that got nitpicked in a lot of it, and so I don't know. I think it's that thing where in the theater, it just allows you to be submersed in the movie differently than when you're at home. And so at home, like I said, you pay attention differently. I think it's just things like that.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I think also too, and we'll talk about this with a couple of reviews that we'll do, but I think when you're watching movies at home, there is. Oh, there we go. I think there's this to your point, you do notice a lot more, like, because I notice when I go see a movie and I'll watch a movie in theaters. Perfect example, Avatar. When I saw Avatar in the theaters, I loved it. I was like, oh my God, this movie's incredible. And then I watched it at home and I'm like, God, this movie's boring as shit. Like, God, well, I thought I really liked this movie. And I think when to your point, you have that whole home theater, you're able to take in a lot more than you are, because there's so much happening on a huge screen with huge sound that you don't normally have. You have audience reaction, so you're in there with them, and it's like, it's an experience. Talking about with streaming again, going back to Netflix, I think with Netflix, before like the streaming stuff really started popping, I did notice it seemed like they were trying to almost get out of that whole streaming aspect and be a legit movie studio.
Yeah, and they are doing that. Like I said, with the Hitman's Bodyguard, that one released in theaters in certain cities or whatever.
Not only that,
as well.
It wasn't just that movie though. It was a couple of movies because they were really trying to get those Oscars. It was that one with Idris Elba, where he was like,
Molly's Game.
Not that one, but it was the one where he was the like the leader of the child rebel soldiers.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, that movie was pretty wild, but I know exactly what
and it was that Spanish-speaking movie as well. Oh, it's called like Alma or something, where they were Netflix films, but they were award caliber films. So it seemed like they were trying to be a movie studio like a Disney or a Warner Brothers, and they were being stopped at the door like, wait, no, you're streaming service. You need to stay streaming service. And these movie studios were like, but you make all this money being Netflix. We can make all this money being Warner Brothers and do the streaming service as well, or Disney being the streaming service as well. And I think with Disney, Disney's the one who really kind of kicked open the door, because not only were you getting the Disney stuff, you were getting Marvel, you were getting Pixar, you were getting Star Wars. And then Warner Brothers comes in and it's like, well, not only do you get Warner Brothers stuff, you get all of our HBO content, you get all of our DC content, you get our Cartoon Network content. Hell, we'll even throw in Friends and the Fresh Prince if you want. And now you have, it seems like everywhere in their mom has a streaming service now.
But see, HBO Max is unlike any other, because that damn streaming service been rebranded 3 times already. It was HBO Go or whatever. Then whatever. So they didn't rebrand it a few times. But what made this one dope is they fed into what consumers wanted. Right. The main reason HBO got the kick off it needed was saying that it was going to do the Justice League cut of the Snyder cut.
Yep.
That did it. And because that's why I signed up. They were giving you a discount on that sign up. And now it's like, okay, so that's got our subscriber base high. That's how they were able to pull this move with being able to do the whole Warner Brothers thing and using that outlet. It's because it's like, look, this works. Like, everybody's on HBO. Like HBO has the content. I'm gonna tell you, that did it. Also, what did it for HBO Max was Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
That was really. Oh God, I still haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't looked at it. That's
did it as well. What else? That Watchmen series was crazy good. Lovecraft was crazy.
Yes, Watchmen was good.
Like even now, like that content they're putting out, HBO is always good at that. Yeah. Now they're just to where you can stream it now and not have to buy it through cable and only watch it on the cable version. Now you can stream it through HBO Max. So HBO just got smart and said, you know what? Like, we're just gonna rebrand this whole streaming app again, and we're just gonna flood them. and now them getting all the titles. Think about it. That's all of the biggest titles that everybody was looking to the movie theaters.
So wasn't like The Wire HBO as well too? Then The Wire on HBO.
Yes.
And that has
so yeah, that's the HBO has all the HBO shows. HBO Max has all the HBO shows, but they also have like we were talking the DC stuff. They got Turner Classic Movies on it. They got Cartoon Network. Like my daughter watches both versions of the Powerpuff Girls.
A lot of what our cable was growing up is on HBO Max. A lot of the shit we watched on cable, whether it was premium cable or regular cable, HBO and Warner Brothers had their hands in a lot of that. And so that's why HBO Max has so much stuff that, like I said, just being able to bring Game of Thrones to streaming, because you had to watch that on demand. You couldn't stream that on HBO Go, from what I could understand.
You could,
so it was
but it's a little bit different because I think it's great because you could do that. That's the one thing I did like about HBO Go was the episode would drop on HBO Go the same time it would drop on that Sunday, but you were still able to go back and watch it. So there was a little bit of similarity because I had HBO Go because I have AT&T. And with AT&T Unlimited, you get HBO Go for free, or HBO Max now for free. So I was able to watch all of that. I think what's really pushed HBO Max, and we're about to get into this right now, is the fact that they did something. They announced something unprecedented that made a lot of people happy. Pissed off a lot of people in the industry was announcing that, hey, for 2021, all of our movies that are going to be in theaters will be on HBO Max the same day.
Yep.
And
for like a month.
And
like 30 days,
yeah,
right?
30 days. And it's not like bullshit movies either. I mean, they're top. These movies will make like
are like to HBO Max. That's what's crazy.
And I'll start it off with saying this. Me personally, I love that idea because, granted, I love going to the theater, but if you want me to watch your movie, I'm only going to pay for what I want to see. And there's certain movies that they have advertised that they're pushing. I had no intention of going to pay to see, like Tom and Jerry the movie. I don't want to see that. Or Dune. Granted, I know people love Dune. It's not for me. Like, I'm not going to pay to see it, but if you're offering for free, I'm going to go for that. So I love it. But I understand also, like, the directors and the production companies in the theaters are pissed about it.
And like I said, I think that's a lot of that back end, because like I said, they get, if it does well in the box office, and you get certain percentages. Like Christopher Nolan, like he dominates the box office, but like you got to be able to read the room, man. Like at this point, nobody was risking it to go to movie theaters where it's so condensed in there. Like you're sitting too close in movie theaters to try to distance that. Is like it was just too much. And movie theaters themselves make more off of, they need all of these seats to be filled, because that's more for the concessions for them. Like that's how they make money.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if they can't sell that, then it's tough. And so, like I said, I just think that the thing with streaming is it's good for the it's good for the consumer, but it's not good for the creator, in the fact that traditionally how they got paid, streaming is going to undermine that a lot.
Yeah.
Because like with music, they don't equate a physical copy in a stream as the same thing.
Nope.
Like that is way off. And so and that's just weird, because I guess they figured, all right, we can track how many times you actually listen to this song and pay you, versus saying, all right, if they stream it one time, that's the same as an album, because with an album they can buy it and never listen to it. It doesn't matter to them. Yeah. But with streaming, it's like, nah, if they listen to this one song a million times and we pay you as such as albums, then now we're paying everything is gonna be platinum. Your album's gonna be 20 times platinum.
Exactly.
Like, we won't be able to survive as record label. So, but I think that HBO has already came out and said that they're trying to work on the contracts with these top billing stars to make that right.
Yeah.
Because Will Smith is got his biopic of the Williams sisters' dad. I forgot his name, but that's coming straight to HBO Max as well too.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, there are big title names with big title stars, and so I think HBO is going to do the right things because they're going to see where the subscribers are going to pick up, and HBO is going to bump the price of their subscription before the end of the first quarter of next year.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One, because isn't what the besides China, isn't like the UK like the second or third biggest market?
It's the US and China are like 1 and 2.
Sure. But I know the UK is a big, but it isn't most of the like, was it the AMC theaters in Europe? Hasn't most of them already went bankrupt and closed down?
Yeah.
I mean, most of the United States have. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's
like,
the Regals.
All of them.
It's the Regals. It's like this. Is it? Oh my God, Cineworld or something like that. But I know it's the Regals. Like all the Regals are like closed.
But that's the thing is, I mean, granted, if you could do something like convert to, because like the local theater here, Julia, they converted to doing drive-in movies.
Oh.
And where you like pull up and just watch a movie. So they had a few titles of that. I'm not sure whether they stopped it or what, but they had that going for like a month or 2 months where you could just legitimately, like, they would have the popcorn if you wanted to buy popcorn, still sell concessions and everything.
They had like a lot of places in Charleston where like you go to and they're like just like little open fields and you would just go and watch the movies and everything else. So I mean that's the way it's gonna go.
Yeah.
I think from here on out, like I think movie theaters, there's still gonna be some, they're gonna be few and far between. But just like our BY says, like, if I can save myself money and don't have to pay the movie theaters half the ticket sales, I don't get any concessions, and I can just stream and I get people to pay, because let's be honest, Disney has set themselves up for the best. With all the Marvel, with Endgame, all that.
So let's hold off. Let's hold off on the Disney discussion. Let's hold off for a second.
They already, people our age. Okay.
Yeah, let's hold off. Let's stick to HBO Max. I want to go ahead and get through this. So, did everybody watch? So, what? I guess I'll start off like this. The one thing with HBO Max, though, because we're talking about them releasing all the movies same day as theaters on their streaming service, and they started off with, I guess you could say, a very anticipated sequel to one of their biggest, and I think it was a surprise hit. Wonder Woman, with Wonder Woman 1984. So did y'all both get a chance to watch it?
Yes.
I did.
Yes, I watched it.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 3 things we liked, 3 things we didn't like, and then our overall reaction. And I'll go ahead and start it off, then I'll pass it over to be White, and then Tooga, you'll end this for us. Okay. All right. So, 3 things I liked about Wonder Woman, and we're not gonna go and tell you what Wonder Woman's about. Go watch it yourself. It's on HBO. But one thing I did like, I like Gal Gadot. I think she's a perfect Wonder Woman. Honestly, if you would have told me that the chick from the Fast and Furious movies was Wonder Woman, I wouldn't think that was a good casting choice. But I think she brings a lot of personality to the character that I didn't think you could do. Like, she's likable. Besides that, she's extremely beautiful, but she's also extremely likable. Second thing I like was I like Chris Pine. I like Chris Pine as Steve Trevor. And I think that's mainly because I like Chris Pine. Like, there hasn't been anything I've seen Chris Pine in that I did not like. Or at least I did not like him in. Like, he's a cool ass dude.
No, I think Chris Pine gets slept on. He calls himself the of all the Chris's, like the Hollywood Chris. I think he calls himself the least famous or something like that. So
yeah, he doesn't get the love he deserves. Like he's really cool.
I like all.
Yeah. And then the third thing I like about the movie, I like, and spoiler alert, I like the scene with the invisible jet. I thought it was a really cool scene. I thought it was really cool how they explained how she made the jet invisible. It fit the purpose, but it didn't seem too hokey as well. It was like, hey, we need to, again, spoiler, we need to go ahead and figure out how to get this jet not to be seen through radar. It's like, oh, there's this power I kind of know how to do, but it takes a lot out of me, so I don't do it often. And she made the jet invisible, and it was actually a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Now, look, 3 things I did not like. I didn't need 2 villains in this movie. Like, either you give me Maxwell Lord or you give me Cheetah. I did not need both. Second thing I didn't like, honestly, it was too long for the story it was trying to tell. Like, I sat and watched it and I almost fell asleep. Just because it was like, okay, get to the point. Like, I know where you're going with this. And it goes into my third thing I didn't like. I didn't feel there were any stakes. Like, there weren't any, like, I knew there was going to be a happy ending. She wasn't going to lose anything because she's in Batman v Superman and Justice League. Like,
I mean, but she did lose something.
Did she though? Because she had already lost that.
But if you get that one thing back and then you have to let it go again.
Yeah, but then that falls into my issue. Because the way she lost it in the first movie, I can see how that impacts her throughout Justice League and Batman v Superman, and they even play into that. How she lost them and how she stopped being Wonder Woman. This loss, again, spoiler, I'm just gonna fuck around and say it. When she has to make the decision to let Steve Trevor go, that enables her to fully become Wonder Woman. Yet in Batman v Superman, you pretty much told me that she stopped being Wonder Woman since the first movie.
Because you're gonna have all movies is gonna have some continuity errors. So I agree with you on that. You say that?
I agree.
And I don't think that's why there's a continuity error. The continuity error in these movies was getting rid of Zack Snyder, because he and his wife are producers on this movie.
Yeah.
So they tried to steer it back to where it fits into the story he was trying to tell, his original stories he's trying to
agree.
Mm-hmm. So,
I agree.
Like, let me get into my 3.
Yeah, go ahead.
The things I liked about it, that's easy. Like, I like that the superhero movies are getting more like comical in certain parts, especially the part where Steve Trevor comes back and he's just in awe of everything. Like, I just like that.
Yeah.
The breakdancing part where he like jumped back and kind of got scared or whatever, like that was pretty funny. And then him trying on the clothes and looking at the trash can as if it was art or whatever, those were funny to me. So I like that piece. I like I love the intro of the movie where her as a kid competing with all the other, like, dope. And then another thing I liked as well was, I would say a third thing I liked, I like that, like, it had a villain that could actually like compete with her, that wasn't like because I think the first thing I did, the one gripe I had about the first Wonder Woman was the villain was just too much of a comic book style thing, but I had to kind of keep in mind of what they were setting up, like these other entities being out there.
Right.
Like, you know, I just had to keep that piece in mind. And so,
and honestly,
with this,
that's what I thought they were going to do, because they even had like, oh, this is like the god of mischief or the god of trickery, and I'm thinking, okay, this guy's going to come up, because there's no way like Maxwell Lord's not going to beat her in a fight. And yeah, you introduce Cheetah, but like I know she's going to beat Cheetah. Maybe this other guy's going to come in. That's going to be the main battle. That didn't happen.
Right. And I think the comment of them actually made it to where there was competition for Wonder Woman, like the Dreamstone giving her powers, and the Dreamstone also taking away Wonder Woman's powers because of, you know, her wish or whatever. And so her having to renounce her wish, I guess, helped her tap in. But piece I don't like is I think the main continuity error is, I hope they're able to clean this up, is how she's able to like fly and do all this other stuff in this one, and then it's like in Batman v Superman, all the other movies, like we don't see none of that. It's like she's just like, I guess, calmed down again. Like after 84, did she just like go back into hiding or whatever, just like hang out, like forget certain shit, like what, like, you know, it's like, you would think that by that time she would have, you know, picked up new tips and tricks and shit by then. Right. I would think over the course of that much time. And so I just don't like that piece. I don't like the way it looked when she was flying. I read an article where a lot of the inspiration was from Superman 2, I think, or one of the Superman. The flying was kind of like that, but like I said, I didn't too much like that. And also I think the one part, I think it was the movie was meant to be a lot more introspective in terms of society today with how shit's going, as opposed to the action thriller that everybody was looking for, or, you know, that you come accustomed to with superhero movies. I think it was, if I had to put it in the sense of anything, it'd be like almost how it'd be almost a little bit more comic booky than the Captain America, like Winter Soldier, right? Like how that felt political film. It was like, you know, it had the undertones of not a politics way, but it focused more on society wanting shit and how it ends up like being to your detriment. That you're whistling for all this shit, and it turns out that you're better off without it, or like you gave up too much to get it, type thing.
Yeah.
So I do understand that message of it, but I just don't think people were ready for that. And I think that's what Patty Jenkins meant, where she think the pandemic helped the movie, because it was like you got a chance to self-reflect throughout the pandemic, and I think a lot of that movie was self-reflection, like Wonder Woman, even like when you think about, just think about every character that remains. Wonder Woman had to self-reflect and realize that she was stronger than what she was, and that she had to let Trevor go.
Right. And
her wanting only making her weak. Cheetah, she had to realize that she was becoming more of an animal as opposed to the actual human that she was by her powers. And then Maxwell Lord, like I said, he was just trying to be this great person, but was failing to be a great dad. And so that was like his detriment. So he saw what he was losing. And so that, I think, was the premise of it, is everybody at some point like self-reflected and said, all right, everything that I'm striving towards in this movie, I don't really need. I should, because it's taking more of me to want this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I want this, but do I need this type? And so I think that's, and in the pandemic, we all had to make those choices of wants versus needs because of economic reasons, or just, you know, just being a good human in some senses, not buying 10 fucking Lysol cans when you could probably do 2 or maybe, you know, 5 or whatever, you know, leaving something for other people. So I think it was, like I said, I get it, but it's just what some people didn't want. So I can understand the the complaints about it. But like I said, I think it was more so from an introspective point of the movie being that way. So I kind of get it in each turn.
All
right. So the things that I liked about the movie, I feel, and this is where I saw certain people post this on the internet, and it was like, oh, it was too, I want to say, they were so used to the Marvel movies and how serious it was, and yeah, they had its jokes, but I like the fact that, like, the movie really depicted the 80s to me, how the 80s were. Like, nothing was really taken seriously. It was all campy. It was cheesy. And I feel like that's what they were trying to make this movie a little bit different, to portray towards the 80s, to make it all campy and everything. So I did like that aspect of it, what comes with the jokes, all the mall scenes. I like the Easter eggs that they kind of threw in there, like the Easter eggs to, like how B. White said, with the Superman and how he was flying. They try to make it look like that. I also like that, you remember Superman 4 with Nuclear Man?
Unfortunately, yeah.
So the star in the middle of the mall is the same star from that he has on his thing. So I feel like she tried to make this movie to resemble all those Supermans from the 80s.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The 70s.
Yeah, I caught that vibe. Yeah.
She tried to go for that. That's what she was trying to do. I don't think people really understood what she was really trying to do. So I did like that. I also like how B. White said how they tried to, the concept of the movie. Like, the concept of the movie was not necessarily to really be, okay, she has a person that she has to defeat, and that's her ultimate goal. Like, it is a lot of self-reflecting. You have to realize that
It's layered.
it's layered. Like, the movie was based on, like, everybody's going to want something. It's hard to stop greed. If you can make a wish to get anything that you want, a lot of people are going to take that. And the fact that
this time with the pandemic, it's like,
so
that's what did a lot of it is, it's like, not to cut you off, but like, it's like that. It's like everybody's wishing for to be outside, but it's like, is that safe for everybody to be out there?
No,
because you know, and it's like, so it's like that give and take thing. It's like everybody wants something that really what's needed.
Is it worth giving up? Is it worth giving up your health? Is it worth giving up possible, death from, anything, like, or even hurting a loved one who probably can't get sick? Like, are you willing to give up just for a few hours of just a little, just being outside? Yeah, like, is it really worth it? So I did like what the movie was trying to, like, give to us. Like, it was deeper than that. The third thing that I did like about it, I did like the end credit, because they
forgot about the after credits too. That was pretty dope.
It was an after credit, because when they were telling the story how they had the one Amazon to protect her from man while they got away and everything,
gold armor or whatever.
Why they built the gold armor, and she came at the end, and then she, she's been here. So
because that's what Wonder Woman was doing up until 1984, was searching for Asteria. Because I guess she felt that she was still alive. That's what she was doing, was searching for. So that's why
she was always looking for the artifacts and everything. She was trying to kind of find her. And then and I fact that, like, it was Linda Carter.
Y'all got that from that, because I was confused as hell. It's like, okay, I know you're wrong. I love the fact Linda Carter was there, but like, they only mention Asteria like twice in the movie.
Yeah.
Which also brought up a something I didn't understand. How the hell did she get that armor to her house when I could have sworn the last Wonder Woman movie she only left with like nothing?
No, because Asteria, she got left out in the world for man. She never went back to Themyscira. So she got away, but the armor was lost. And she ended up finding the armor. Wonder Woman, through all the years of arc, you know, I guess her excavations and all that other stuff, she found the armor. Okay. She found the armor. So I like the fact that they are paying homage, because Patty Jenkins said she wanted to put that, have the
first one actually do it.
Yeah, she couldn't fit it because it didn't fit in the story. It just didn't fit in the story. Yeah. So I do like when they already announced that they're going to do Wonder Woman 3. So I don't know how they're going to play that into it, because you already portrayed it now. So what are you going to do to make that? So it has to be that she is the villain. Like, that's no other way.
Nah, she's not going to be the villain.
Asteria? No. Linda Carter?
No.
She won't be the villain. I think it's going to come down to the fact of where she's going to be facing off potentially against somebody where she'll need her help or look to her for advice.
Yeah. She's not going to make her the villain.
Yeah, I think
maybe kill my hope and dreams. I want her to be the villain.
No, she didn't lose anybody. Yeah, and so because the next Wonder Woman is going to be current time. Yeah, it won't be like a flashback. It will be.
That is right. They did. She did say that.
Given when that movie's going to come out, you're going to have the effects of Justice League and see where they take that whole DC universe from there. Whether they pick up Snyder, because I think everything's going to flow too well with Justice League and all the other shit that he's probably going to be content making for them, to where they're not going to want to follow back through with his story, because his 5-movie arc was going to be crazy.
From what I read, that was going to be insane. Yeah. The things I did not like about it, like I said, I didn't like the effects. I didn't like her running was worse than the Flash in Justice League.
I think that goes back to what you said now, because that made so much sense, to where it's like I wanted to have the theme of what an 80s superhero TV show looked like, and you mentioning that, now I look back at the running and the flying, it's just that.
Like, it's campy. I appreciated what they were trying to do, and the flying, I appreciate it. I didn't have a problem with the flying. I just didn't like the running. I'm sorry, I just didn't like the running.
The running didn't really piss me off as much as the flying, and I don't know why. It just seemed like she was it didn't seem like she was physically flying. Maybe, I don't know. Because with the running, at least it looked like she was running. With her flying, it just looks like it's just floating.
Yeah. Now,
so I don't know.
The second thing I did not like, I probably would have to say, I just like kind of how G said, I don't felt like there was, besides the nuclear fallout from all the people making the wishes, I felt that she never really had that external opposition in herself, because compared to the fight that she had with Ares, that was I felt like Ares was really more of her match. Cheetah, it wasn't really a big, it wasn't a contest, and then Maxwell Lord, that was just the mental or the emotional side of it that she had to get through. Her biggest opposition was giving up Trevor. Right. Steve Trevor, that's her biggest opposition. I felt like they did more with, they could have made Cheetah a little bit more powerful, but I can see where they cut back, because she didn't become Cheetah until it was dark. So you can hide the special effects on it. Because I was like, if they make fucking Christina Wade look like something from Cats, I would have been pissed.
My thing, I think, like I said, I think that played a part into it, but to have made, like I said, for them to have made, they needed 2 villains from that standpoint, I think, because if they make Kristen Wiig the Cheetah as the main villain, then she would have had her story arc would have been different, and she would have had to turn into that Cheetah well before she did in that final scene in the third
half. And I think that's what makes me mad, though, because the trailer makes it seem like Wonder Woman did something like the way I saw the trailer made it seem like Wonder Woman did something to piss her off or wronged her in some way, and
that's how I get into it, especially how she came off as like a fangirl.
Yeah,
you thought Gal just like, you know, like how it normally happens, like just shoot off or some type of shit like that, but it was never really like that. Like she kept her in the loop throughout the entire thing until she ran off on her. So I did like that aspect of where that relationship was more so fractured by the person that you know, by not by the superhero. Like when Tony Stark did it to the dude in Iron Man 3, Killian or whatever, when he didn't speak to him or had him go to the room. So it's like I think that was good to see it happen, that you know, the villain ended up severing the relationship then.
Yeah. Now the third thing I did not like, and just like I just didn't like the continuity part of it. Like just like you said, like now she can fly. Now like the visible jet was cool. So like, I mean, I guess they set it up when they said, oh, well, I did it with the apple, but now I can't do it. No, not the apple, the coffee mug. Yeah. Oh, I did it with the coffee mug and I lost it. So now she just lost the visible jet. Where the hell is the visible jet at? Like,
because I guess they ended up using it again to get back from whatever they got. So
now it's gone now?
Probably, well, knowing what she knew from the coffee mug, she probably said, let me have some type of identifying thing on here to where I can find this again. Find it.
So
probably a lesson.
And then the lasso. Like I just wasn't a big fan of the lasso in this movie.
Yeah, it wasn't like the how we usually see the lasso, right?
Yeah, I just wasn't a fan of the lasso. So, like it went from like 10 feet to 100 feet.
Yeah.
It split off to two different ends, and like I'm like,
yeah, it did a lot. But I think, like I said, they just showed a lot more.
They can't be.
I'm not as familiar with the backstory or the comic or whatever, but you know, there's some items that just defy physics or just don't make no damn sense, like hammer shit like that. So I guess her lasso would just be one of them where, it's like really, but all right, it's a comic book, so I'm gonna roll with it.
Okay, one other thing before we go on to the overall reaction. Where the hell's her shield and sword?
I think she probably could have had that in storage, like with
that suit that came out of nowhere.
Because I think what happened is, over time, I think she became fast enough with dodging the bullets and all of that. You saw
that she didn't need it anymore.
Yeah, that she didn't honestly really need it, because after Wonder Woman, she had
yeah, she didn't have it. No, she had the sword. She had the sword in
she had the sword in Justice League. She had the sword in Justice League.
Yeah.
So I actually want to change one of my things that I don't like. Because there's something that pissed me off from the very beginning of the movie that I'm like, oh shit, I think I know what ride I'm gonna do. I fucking hated that mall scene. I'm sorry. There was nothing good about that mall scene between the dumbass criminals, which by the way, maybe the worst criminals I've ever seen in a movie. The motherfucker literally gets the shit thrown at him and drops his fucking gun.
I think that goes back to more that 80s type style, though. I think like that's making more and more sense to me.
And then his homeboys, put her down.
A lot of
put her down.
Like the dude's like, we're about to be out of here. Like, oh yeah, come here, little girl. Like, nigga, what the fuck are you doing? Hey, come on. And then call, like, oh my god.
His friends, put her down. Put the kid down. Put her down. Hey, listen, I was walking off like I don't know what the hell was going on. Let me get the fuck about it.
I'm not going back, Jerry. I'm not going back to jail. It's like
you going back. Like you going back.
And then like the girl, like the little black girl comes, it's like, it's you. And one of them is like, swink, and she winks back, and it's like,
that's the 80s campiness, man. That's they was trying to go off of that 1980s. But overall, a lot of people said they didn't like the movie. I just think they didn't understand what Patty Jenkins was trying to do, what she was trying to play back on, like trying to reach that 80s feel.
Of the director, I think is a big part in movies of how they want you to view it. And sometimes you have to kind of listen to a few of these interviews, I think, to kind of gain that perspective of some stuff, or maybe after you watch it, listen to it. I don't know, but I think it makes sense to try to get to look at it through the lens of how they want it portrayed sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. Like
so,
I have no issue. Like I like it. The movie was good for me.
Doing that and understanding that it wanted it shot like it was an 80s style superhero movie.
Yeah.
How introspective it was in today's time and how it played into what we're going through. I can see why. Like I said, I don't know. Well, they said, of course, the hype of it, where I think they said over 50% of subscribers watched it on like Christmas Day on release day, which is hopeful. That's why HBO said that they could possibly pull this off, is because they probably only look for maybe 25% viewership on opening.
You got to think that's on Christmas.
That exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think now if they can strategically schedule these releases like they should, they should be able to get more of that happening. And so that was cool. But I think overall reaction, I can see why some people didn't like it, but for me, overall I enjoyed it. Now I don't think it's as rewatchable as the first Wonder Woman.
No, I don't see it. It's not rewatchable. I agree with you.
Yeah, and that's the thing where it goes back. Like I rank a movie high how many times I can watch it.
Yeah,
and like actually watch it, like and enjoy it again. And so, because like Tenet, what I normally do with some big movies that I'm hyped for, I'll go watch it the first time, and then I'll go back within a week again and watch it again. Just this time, knowing what's happened, so I can look for other stuff inside of the movie,
right?
And not what I did the first time. So, but with Tenet, the second time I fell asleep, and I can't even lie. And so the watchability on that is kind of tough, and so I think that goes back to another one of Nolan's things too, is you probably won't watch it more than once or twice, because it plays better in the theater. So but like I said, I like the Wonder Woman. Overall, I think I liked it. Not as much as one, but it's from a scale to it's so much criteria you put into it. But just as a movie standalone, watching it, did I enjoy it? Yes, I'll say.
Yeah.
Let's see. For my reaction, I think if I would have saw this in theaters, I think we lost Tooga.
He came still. I'm still here.
I can hear you. I just can see you. I can. All right.
Okay.
All right. So I think if I saw this movie in theaters and I would have paid for it, I think I would have been a lot more critical.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
I think the fact that I could watch this at home and sit on my couch, pause it when I need to pause it, relax. I'm a lot more lenient than maybe what I should be. I didn't hate the movie. I just did not enjoy it. There were things I did like. There were things I was interested in, and there were decisions I did like. Like I liked how they brought in Steve Trevor, and then how they ended up leaving Steve Trevor. I like that, and it made sense. And
I like put on it too, where it wasn't like Wonder Woman saw that dude is Steve Trevor as opposed to who he really was, and so I think that was dope. Them presenting it that way, because I wondered, like, is he physically gonna be back? And so them throwing that in there, that was kind of,
it made more sense. It made it more realistic. Like she's the only one that can see him like that. So that was probably one of the most clever things they did with the that movie.
By the way, Steve Trevor, he gotta have that D2B, because that woman literally curved every single person from 1930 to 1984.
Yeah.
Like, nobody was getting that unless you were Steve Trevor.
I don't think he ever had a love interest past Steve Trevor from the Linda Carter shows.
So in the comics, they made it where like she's fucked around with Superman and she's fucked around with Batman.
And Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
like,
yeah, the comics just get wild.
Yeah.
After a certain amount.
Yeah, they do.
But
They
also Steve Trevor has always been in her timeline.
Yeah.
Like, literally, she didn't fuck with no one else for that long. So, and that man only put it down one time. Like, he only hit it one time, and it was like, oh, nope, that's enough.
Well,
Like, ain't nobody getting this.
The thing about that is, though, when she grew up around all women, and he was practically the first woman. I mean, he was practically the first man she really like got to know and shit. So it was like, I guess that was a whole different feel or whatever. So
yeah, but I did like that, but then like to the point y'all were making too, there were things I just did not like. Like, I'm sorry, I enjoy seeing Linda Carter in the end credits, but there was no build up to her being a stereo. At least I didn't see it until at the end when it says introducing Linda Carter as a stereo. I'm like, oh.
The only thing that lended toward, well, not necessarily it being Linda Carter, but where I guess they tried to map it in there, was they made her how she gave up, which I think I guess gave up her herself for humanity, and then Wonder Woman saying that was her purpose. That's what she's been doing since, is trying to find her, and then the end it's kind of playing into that as well too. So I can see where it's almost like they're trying to piece that in there.
Yeah.
You know, like as a pandemic pushback type thing, they were like, all right, let's get this added in there type thing, or let's see if we can fit this in since we got this extra shooting time.
And
or whatever,
then I'm sorry, like, and I hate they do this. They've done this. I don't know. Is it just me, or does it ever feel like they always put these attractive people in these roles where they're supposed to be like, oh, nerdy and geeky, and oh, no one's attracted to me kind of things? I'm sorry, I'll smash Kristen.
Yeah, I think that is. But like I said, I think that's another thematic thing to work.
Yeah,
because it's like that's played now. It's like we didn't see that in every style.
They did in Batman Returns with Michelle Pfeiffer, who's freaking attractive. And I'm sorry, but like they've done it with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Jamie Foxx, who women will find attractive. Iron Man 3, they did it with Guy Pearce. Like, you get these attractive people to play these, oh, I'm nerdy, no one loves me kind of characters. And I'm like, I can't fucking buy that. Like, and then even like
it's a movie. It's not made for you to buy every aspect of it. It's a movie. It's for entertainment.
But still,
all right. So think about the movie. What's the rom-com with the? She was the drawer. It did 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, you talking about
She's All That?
Where she, all stuff like
She's All That. With
she's
Freddie Prinze Jr.
all that. Yeah, like that's how you blow up. Like,
but even with though, it wasn't the sense of the fact of, oh, no one loves me. It was the fact that she was just so concerned with herself, she didn't pay attention to what was going on. This, like, Kristen Wiig character, it was literally no one gave a fuck about her. Like, she drops the papers. The guy's like, hey, Bobby, can I get some help? I was like, bitch, I don't fucking know you, and walked away. Like, I didn't buy that this time. Like, the time I saw him, like, these people, I don't get why they're being an asshole to you, because you're not a bad person. Like, I didn't understand that. So
I get that.
Yeah. And even like her motivations of being Cheetah, I didn't really get. Like, I understand it's like, okay, you kind of lose your humanity innocent when you becoming like Diana, but then you turn into a cheetah just cause.
But she,
like, now it would have been cool if it's like you didn't have her be cheetah, but she didn't renounce that wish either, and she loses that ability, and now she's mad at Wonder Woman because, oh, you made Maxwell Lord renounce his wish, so now I lost all these things that were making me happy. Now I need to go to the jungles, find whatever I can, whatever medicine, whatever research I can do to get that power again. And then she becomes corrupted, and then she becomes Cheetah.
Right.
I mean, I guess they could have went that route, because kind of what happened in the comics. Like, there's two different versions to Cheetah in the one is she's part of like a little cult, and then she sacrificed herself, she became Cheetah. The other is that like a shaman and kind of wished that upon her in itself, and then she just it's weird how she becomes Cheetah.
Right.
But in the comics, she's literally just as strong as Wonder Woman. She can pierce her skin. And as far as like they did the fastest people in the DC universe, obviously Flash is the fastest. They have like the Black Racer, Superman, one of the other Flashes. She's actually, they said she's faster than Wonder Woman. She's like the 4th or 5th fastest person in the DC universe.
Yeah. Like
she's faster than Shazam. She's faster than I think it said Wonder Woman and somebody else that was supposed to be really fast. So I mean, they could, I think if they had to do it like that, because budget wise it would have been way too much for her to be the main villain.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. You kind of introduced that, but you don't have her be fully Cheetah yet, and then you could build on that for Wonder Woman 3.
I mean, yeah, you can. Yeah. I mean, you still can.
No,
you still can.
No, because she renounced it. She's not becoming Cheetah again.
The time being like most movies, you don't really get them time. Like, we really just started finding out in these past movies, like when certain shit's happening. Like, cool, they might, some of it they say in the future. Like, you get some dates, like Back to the Future gave specific dates or certain years and stuff. But like, when you started getting these movies with so much continuity built into it, that's when you started really getting time specific in movies.
Right.
Yeah. And so I think a part of what hindered them rolling out the Cheetah thing was them knowing that the next Wonder Woman movie was going to be another time jump.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be in that same. And so how do you carry Cheetah through that? Because this is about another 20-30 year time jump at this point. So it'd have been tough to kind of, I think.
I get that, but if you have her be in that Cheetah like outfit, then you can hide the age. Like, wow, shouldn't you be 70? Like, yeah, but I've been to jungles, I've taken all this medicine to where I haven't aged because of it. I've done all these things. I mean, hell, it's a DC movie. They can make up some shit to fill that age gap.
Yeah, you can.
But if I had to give my overall reaction, it was cool. Like,
it's cool.
Yeah, like, am I gonna watch it again? Probably not. But
yeah, that's what I have to.
I don't hate it.
I really don't think I want to watch it.
Yeah,
it'd have to be
like I have nothing to do
or to watch it.
Now, and moving on though, because we talked about HBO Max, let's talk about the other Disney Plus, and we'll end it out for the other streaming service. We'll end it out for tonight. But Disney Plus, after Warner Brothers had that announcement that, hey, we're releasing all of our movies at the same time, Disney Plus was like, man, fuck that shit. We got something for y'all. And
what shocked me most about the Disney Plus thing was there were so many titles that they hid and didn't release even after the fact, even after that
D23 and the last
Comic-Con. The Boba Fett show.
Yes.
That's coming. They didn't even announce that. throughout that whole thing. So that's what was big, because Disney, you already knew they had those Marvel shows coming, but to where the rollout of where they're doing Moon Knight, they're doing Ironheart, like
they're doing
they are really like in the content. And so this is the true Disney Plus. Like Disney Plus, for all intents and purposes, people were calling it a failure because it was just, a lot of the content wasn't formatted correctly. It was just a lot of old stuff and not really the old shit we wanted. It was just like nostalgic for your childhood purposes. Like I never really watched as much on Disney Plus unless I was looking for a Marvel movie, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, or maybe and The Mandalorian. And so you're right. That's what really was Disney's, like, that's what got people in and said, once the first season of Mandalorian was the hit, and that storytelling, so they're like, all right, we got something here. But I think, like you said, they already knew they had the Marvel stuff, but all of the Star Wars shows they're adding, and talked about, like, Disney, I would say HBO Max and Disney were kind of projecting wise, they were kind of about the same. I think I would have put Disney to project or their trajectory a little bit higher, because they had the original Marvel stuff. But when HBO said that they were going to do the whole 2021 release, I think that put them a notch ahead. But when Disney said, we got all these shows coming, and it was just like, wow. It was like, all right. Because now, see, the only thing with where HBO Max is, you're going to get that content a lot sooner than you're going to get with Disney Plus. Like they announced it, but a lot of that content is still a year, a
couple of years.
Like Moon Knight is not until like how long? Like another year and a half, 2 years.
Like a lot of it's gonna take a while to build out. Hey Ramsey. But that's just I think that's the biggest part of it. It's just waiting on that. You're gonna have to wait on that Disney content as to where the HBO content, you're gonna get it. Like you've already started getting that on Christmas with Wonder Woman, and now in January, I think the 29th, you're getting that Denzel movie on HBO Max, which is we had to talk about that, but I think that's gonna be dope too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, hell, you're about to get Mortal Kombat in what, March, I think?
March.
March.
Because Disney, they cleared the slate. Like, the WandaVision is going to be the only show running. And then pick up with the Winter Soldier and Falcon.
And that's in March. That's in March as well. Yeah.
WandaVision is what, January
15th? January 15th, I think.
50.
Yeah, March 5th was the last show. But I think that was going to be 6 episodes because it's a 2-week skip in between from what I saw in January. So the first one comes out the 15th, I think, and then the next one that come out into the 29th or something like that. The releases for that. So I think it's only going to be 6 episodes because right now what it's from the runtime, I guess the start time, the end time is supposed to be, that's 8 weeks. But I think there's a couple skips in there where there's going to be weeks with no episodes. So
But I think also too with those Marvel shows, we knew about WandaVision, Loki, and Captain America, and Winter Soldier and Falcon show. But then you got also the stuff that they announced. Not only the stuff that they're going to put on the streaming service, but then also the stuff they're going to still release in theaters as well. Like Black Widow's still going to theaters. They're still banking on that going to theaters. But because we know Disney Plus is kicking ass, but they also dropped the movie on Christmas as well. The movie that was originally supposed to be released in theaters, and that was Soul. And again, we're not going to tell you what it's about. You can go watch it on Disney Plus. But again, same thing we did with Wonder Woman. 3 things we liked, 3 things we didn't like. Tooga, I'll start with you this time.
All right, so I just recently, I watched Soul today. What I liked about Soul, I liked the message. It was I liked the message that it gave. The second thing I like, it was just a different story. It was just different. Like the way they told the story, how they explained everything. It touched on very important and sensitive subjects. Yeah. As far as I can't really say without giving out the movie, the title, like what's going on with the movie, but it made it it made it consumable for children.
That's one thing that Pixar and Disney, they've always done is be able to give you that hard hitting stuff in a digestible like form.
Yeah.
So like animated series talking about an animated, movie talking about what they're talking about comes off easier as an animation as opposed to like a natural movie, because then it's too real. It kind of it's too sad at that point. Like you don't so it'd be 7 poundish at that point. So it's just like
and I liked, and the third thing I did like about it, I did like it wasn't too much like singing and music in the movie. Like how some like Disney movies just has like a bunch of singing. I did like that. I mean, they had one, and it was just a different movie from what you're normally seeing with Disney. What I didn't like about it, it
to be fair,
I'm not trying to say
if you don't have 3 things for whether you like or didn't like, I'm not going to hold you to it.
Oh no. What I don't like is, if anything has doing with, I guess, a Black or African American character, they try to, for majority of that movie, they try to make them something different, like in like the Princess and the Frog, like they turn them into frogs.
Okay.
At one point.
Yeah.
Like I just don't like that. Like, why when it comes to us, we just can't have like a real movie. Now, granted, it still was a great concept. It still, you had the African Americans and everything. I still felt that we were represented correctly. And I'm not trying to be like a woke person. I just don't like the fact that every time that we get a major role like that, we have to change the way we look initially.
So I'll tell you this, because I did find out some additional information about that. In the case of this movie, the premise was already developed before they decided to make the character.
And I can tell that was the case. Yeah. It just seems like that's always the case with us. Yeah. But now, granted, I didn't like the ending. Like, I felt that they could have did more with the ending. Like, I had an idea that was going to happen in the ending. What happened? I just felt like I would have liked to see something a little like an end credit or something more follow up of him, like, for example, like him doing what he likes doing, and I don't care that he really enjoys helping other people,
right? Like
having help people find their passion, and then with Tina Fey's character, 22, and like she's like as a child, and then they have that like that subtle moment or that that moment that you would get in a movie, that like them recognizing who each other are.
Right.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they did that. That's the only things I didn't like. Those are the only 2 things I didn't like about the movie, and they're not like major things that will not make you not see the movie. Right. It's something that I just didn't like, but I don't really have a third thing on that aspect.
Okay. All right. What about you, B. White?
I didn't really watch. I didn't get a chance to see the movie, but I heard nothing but positive reviews. Honestly, like when I first saw I can't remember where I saw the original trailer from though.
It was a while ago. It was on a
It had to be online.
It was on a movie. It wasn't online. It was like they showed the trailer during like a movie that came out before the pandemic.
Was it Frozen, or was it Onward?
Was it?
else.
It was one of the two. It was one of the two. They did something before the pandemic even started.
Yeah, I knew about the movie and I kind of forgot about it because it was one of those, you know, no theaters, like that one kind of flew under the radar. So it was kind of a pleasant surprise that they brought it out on Christmas. But I've never had no issue with like any of the Pixar like animated movies.
Right.
They've always, like I said, done the trick. And the thing I love about those movies is it's always a character from one movie that sets up another movie. Like whenever you like look back at it, so I'm sure there's going to be a character that was introduced or hinted at in this movie that's going to be for the next movie that Pixar's coming out with. Like they kind of put those Easter eggs in there. A good little bit. It may not be the main character from the next movie,
but they might have somebody in the back.
Somebody related to the next movie. So I do love that they do that. Like I said, I think from everything I that made me only want to see it more. The reviews, like normally reviews, when I hear people talk good about some stuff, like I kind of shy away from it.
Right.
Like one movie, like Get Out. Like it took me, I didn't watch that movie until a year and a half after it came out.
It took me a while to watch that movie.
You know, all the like, I just thought that there was too much hype about it, and I didn't want to take other people's opinions into the movie, and then it skew my view of it.
Right.
So I wanted to like be like a diamond in the rough, like, oh, like why didn't I watch this movie when it first came out? So I'd rather have that feeling than anything. But so I think I'll feel the same way about this one. Like I said, all I've heard was nothing but good things about it. About this movie. So I'm gonna actually check it out tomorrow. And then I'll, like, if we need to like revisit before another podcast or whatever, I could probably go more in depth.
Okay.
Like I did with one. But it's definitely on the watch list. It's gonna actually jump a few things on the watch list.
So I'll tell you my 3 for each. So 3 things I like. First thing, I love the barbershop scene.
I was about to say, that's one thing I heard a lot about.
Love, like, if you've ever been in a barbershop, it is...
And that's the black culture, too, especially with L being a main character. Like, you gotta show them.
And honestly, just the whole atmosphere of a barbershop, like, it's not like... It's not... You know, the funny thing is, it's not played for comedic purposes. It's actually built to show life and character in this one situation, which is funny. You have movies like called Barbershop, but yet Pixar gives me maybe the most truest, accurate description of a barbershop. And even when they go into how the guy became a barber and the feeling he feels from it, I'm like, damn. Second thing I loved about it, Tooga, you pointed out that you liked the fact there wasn't a lot of music. For me, it was the music itself that I loved.
Yeah, like, so the music, that's what I was trying to, like, the music itself, it fit with what was going on inside the movie in itself. It wasn't like some just song that triggered because somebody had this thought or this feeling. It wasn't like that on like some of those. It
wasn't Trolls where let's just bust out in some song. But
exactly,
like, I'm not a jazz fan by any means, but I was digging the jazz music that they were playing.
Oh yeah,
and also it was something else I learned about too is, and Tooga, did you notice, like, when he was like playing the piano, you actually saw his fingers hit the keys that they were supposed to hit.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, like you actually saw it. Like, you saw like how the instruments were really supposed to be played, not just some do 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 or do 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 do, and then a whole song comes out, or someone playing a guitar or something. It's like you didn't see that. You actually saw someone playing.
Yeah. To go on that too, the one thing I did for what you said, the music, and I felt like Jamie Foxx was the perfect person to play the main character because he started out as a comedian, and that's what he had to but he still had that music aspect, and he always played the piano. So I felt like he made that part because I felt like he saw himself as that, not as the fact that just the character, but him loving music, that was his first love. But then I felt like he probably enjoyed doing the voiceovers and actually doing that part, because I think that's kind of like his story in a sense of his love for the music.
Yeah, at first he wanted to be a musician, And then, of course, it ended up being an actor, and then he still tried to cycle back around to it, which that debut album, well, I would say technically, that shit was fire.
Yeah.
It was big, actually. But that's the thing. Jamie Foxx is just one of those people that is just talented all around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, between his impersonations, like the biopics he's bodied already, like that type. I mean, being Ray was one thing, but coming back and I mean, even when he was in Ali and was the trainer, he did that very well at a high level. And him coming back and doing Mike Tyson, like that's gonna be even better. So like I said, Jamie Foxx is gonna be one of those ones to where you go see him. Like I said, you've already seen him start out as a comedian or whatever, and then transform that into serious roles or roles that have depth. And as quiet as kept, if you look at some of our better actors or some of the comedians that transition into those serious roles, they've actually done well at it.
Oh yeah,
a lot
definitely.
of them have.
Looking at you, Mike Epps.
Have range though. Like a lot of the comedians have acting range.
Yeah.
And it just takes that opportunity and probably just some molding. You know, it takes a few roles or whatever to get there, but you know what I'm saying? Like Jamie Foxx in Django, he was the perfect mix of, like, he played that role perfect. Like, if Idris Elba had gotten that role, I don't think I would like that movie as
Will Smith.
Django,
or Will Smith.
Or Will Smith, right? Yeah. I don't think I would have liked him in that movie because, like I said, Jamie Foxx was the perfect between seriousness and funny and just everything. I just think he did it right.
Right.
So that movie was great.
And, sorry to mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
You're good.
And then the third thing I really enjoyed about the movie is the animation. It's some of the most beautiful animation I've ever seen. Like
it's like from Toy Story, like Finding Nemo, all the movies they don't miss on that.
I will say this: this movie, when it comes to animation, shits on all those movies. Like there's certain parts I forgot I was watching an animated movie.
See,
and like how they film New York. I mean, how they animate New York, especially like I've been in New York maybe in the past 2 years. That's how New York looks.
Right.
Like,
and I also like, I'm not the doing it, but like just the whole message and the concept of the movie in itself. Like everyone can look at that movie and get something out of that movie.
Right. Three things I did not like about it. Honestly, even the things I think I wouldn't have liked. I wouldn't have liked. Like I thought I wouldn't like the Tina Fey character, and they do something with the Tina Fey character that made me love her. There's
how do you not like Tina Fey?
Well, the way they introduced the character, I love Tina Fey, but the way they introduced the character, you think the character is gonna be on like
not liking a person's character depending on their storyline.
Right.
I
but they do something with their character. Like something happens with Jamie Foxx and her character to where you're in that experience with her, and it's so like genuine and organic, the feelings and the expressions that she has, that I'm like, oh my God, I want all the great things to happen with this character. And then you feel all those emotions with her. I honestly cannot think of anything I did not like. Even the ending, I love how the movie ended, because it didn't end on your typical all loose ends are tied up. Like it kind of ends just as an ending.
And just as ambiguous as any.
Right.
Like anything you can use your imagination how anything can happen to the end of the movie.
And sometimes I think movies leave that door open, whether they like this, like a lot of what Soul is, they just probably didn't know what a sequel could look like or what could happen in the sequel, especially with pushing it back for the pandemic and stuff like that, which they probably had a few endings, but they probably went with an ambiguous one just to keep the door open to get that funding for a round 2 type thing.
Right.
I mean, and this is what I got from the ending in itself. even though that's when I said I didn't like, that's what I wanted. Like, I just, as me as a person, because I got attached to the character of Tina Fey's character. I got attached to Jamie Foxx's character. I just wanted more. So I wanted like an ending that would just make me happy. But the ending in itself, I like it because what he said, he was like, so what are you gonna do now? I don't know. So he's not trying to, he the ending is perfect because like now you leave it ambiguous. He can be wherever he wants to be now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the message I think that everyone get. Like, you don't have to go through something that happened during the movie to realize that you can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do, and you don't need a particular time. You don't have to have a certain age to do it. You just have to go out there and do it.
Yeah, how I got it was, just because you're passionate about something doesn't make it your purpose in life. And
exactly,
like what you want to do, maybe in the next, what you feel is important. You may not be important to you later on. Or what I love even more, and sorry if I'm spoiling this for you, B-White, but there's a scene where he gets that moment he's looking for. And after he gets that moment, he realizes it's not what he thought it was. It's not as fulfilling as he thought it was. And a lot of times you'll see it's like, oh, you get the big moment, but if something happens and you're like, oh no, I don't really want it. He gets that moment, he lives it out. What he's been searching for, yearning for this whole time. And afterwards he talks to the lady, he's like, it wasn't what I expected. And the lady's like, yeah, never is it?
That's what a lot of stuff we put stock into and we build it up mentally or however, and then it's just so underwhelming. It's where it's like you got to temper your expectations. Never get too high, never get too low on anything, because you feeling a way about something, and then when it happens, that's like meeting your role model and finding out he's an asshole. Like, I always like, that it's crushing, because it's like your expectation of that person didn't live up to the actual, occurrence.
Ask Young Thug about Lil Wayne. He'll tell you about that.
Right. So it's just like, sometimes it's best to have not meet somebody you hold in high regard. Mm-hmm. Like, just from afar type thing. Like, it might have just been better that way. But like I said, with certain stuff is like you can't just be all headstrong on this is what I'm going to do, because like I said, unless it's the same thing. So I want to continuously win championships, then that's different, because that goes reset every year. Mm-hmm. But if it's I want to get to this point, or do this certain performance, or I just want to reach this goal at work, and then when you reach it, then what else is after that?
Right.
Like,
what's next?
Yeah, there's, it's like, all right, I did that. It was like, that was it. Like, so you kind of, like I said, I can understand that sentiment where it's like it never holds up to what you expect it to be with anything most times.
Right.
Yeah.
So Tooga, since B-White hadn't seen this, let's do this. Instead of giving our overall reaction, we'll give our recommendation. Will we recommend it or not? So I'll let you go first.
Oh yeah, I definitely recommend this movie. You can get, it's not just a movie that you can look at and it's particularly to one thing. It can go to anything. The whole concept of the movie, like, it goes to anything. Like, I would, like, just how B. White said, like, you got the expectations. Like, what I got from the movie is that don't go through life with expectations as far as, like, be making it your purpose. Like, just enjoy your time and everything that you're doing right then and there, because it could be gone just like that. Like, stop trying to put expectations on everything. Stop trying to make everything, put it on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy. Yeah, that can go for, like, the concept can go for anything. That can go for, like, a job, like a B. White said. Once you get that position, then what? Right. That can go to help a relationship. Like, you put all this expectation and then put this person on a pedestal, and then as time goes along, you realize that person not that person, but the whole time you could have just been enjoying that person and just doing everything else.
Right.
And you not missed out on that opportunity. Or it could just be in general, like you missed out on something and then everyone expects you to be this one person, do this one thing instead of you just doing what you want to do. So you get so many different messages and it can apply to so many different things. So I think you should watch the movie because it might help you like get through something or put in perspective in something that you never thought about before. And it could change the way you think about things, and it can change you for the better.
Right. No, I agree. I highly recommend this. Like, put this at the top of your list of things to watch. Besides the animation, the voice casting is great. But like Tooga said, just the message itself. Like, it's a beautiful message, beautiful story that's told. Like, I watched it and I mean, what I got from it was appreciate the life you have because you don't know when it can be taken away from you. And appreciate those around you. And I mean, because there's some powerful scenes that happen in there where it hits, you're like, oh shit, I did not see that coming. So I definitely suggest like watching that like as soon as you can.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm definitely gonna ASAP.
Soul is better than Wonder Woman 19.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, it's better.
All right. So one more thing, and then we'll go ahead and close it out. So we talked about HBO Max and Disney Plus, and I think we know what we're looking forward to from HBO Plus: Matrix, Mortal Kombat.
Suicide Squad,
stuff like that. With Disney Plus, the Marvel and Star Wars stuff. But what about some of the other streaming services that are out there that you're looking forward to that are offering? I know for me, Prime Video with The Boys and everything like that, but they're getting that Coming to America 2 on my birthday, so I'm ready for that.
I think I'm gonna watch that. Right now, between Disney and HBO Max, that's gonna get the most play.
Yeah.
I rarely watch much in Netflix, to be real.
I'm the same. I'm the same.
I go there for certain stuff, but like my movies, I can just put on and watch. A lot of that's on Disney now, with a lot of the Avengers movies, stuff like that. So
yeah.
But with HBO, I mean, I'm planning a rewatch of Game of Thrones, shit like that. So it is some stuff I plan on looking back at. But HBO Max, and I say HBO Max and Disney got it for me. Is I mean, like I said, the other I got Hulu, I got all these other stuff, but as far as what I'm looking forward to, it's that content that's coming out from those two to me. They're the heavy hitters right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Netflix may come out of nowhere and just drop a banger, which they've signed some content creators to their to the Netflix umbrella, like Shonda Rhimes and other people. So Netflix, like I said, I don't think they're ever gonna really be out of it.
No. HBO Max and Disney Plus have caught up to Netflix, in my opinion, but I think
what are you gonna do? Like, because you got a few shows. Like I said, you got the show with even the show that just went off with the what's the show with Nicole Kidman and dude
The Undoing.
That was pretty good. The Undoing, yeah. So you got that, like The Undoing. You got The Outsider, that was good.
Yeah.
You also got but The Outsider, they haven't renewed that again. So what are you gonna do with that? Like what's my joint with Woody Harrelson and
True Detective?
True Detective, like True Detective season 1 and season 3, like with Mahershala Ali, like his, like those were great.
Yeah.
So HBO has the after this movie, after the 2021 with the movies and streaming. I did see where they said they're slated to release 2 DC movies a year now, because because they're gonna have like alternate universes and stuff like this. So
Yeah.
they're gonna look for 4 theatrical releases a year and then 2 releases on HBO Max. So that's gonna be pretty dope. Which they said the Static Shock and Batgirl are like examples of ones that will come to HBO Max but not theater.
Right.
And Michael B. Jordan is supposed to be working on that Static Shock movie as well too. So
I did forgot about that.
Yeah.
That Static Shock. Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I mean, just like right now it's HBO Max and Disney, but like because like I said, I love my Titans, Teen Titans.
Yeah.
The Snyder Cut. That's what I want to see. I want to see the Snyder Cut.
I think that's in March. I think that's
that starts in March. Yeah, that starts in March.
it's a 4-part miniseries.
Yeah. I mean, just everything in Disney Plus, as far as Marvel. Like, I'm ready to see Ahsoka, her series.
Yeah.
I'm
ready to see his Obi-Wan show.
Rosario Dawson.
The Obi-Wan show is what I'm looking for. I'm looking forward to that Loki show as well. I think that show is going to be low key probably one of the better ones from that whole Disney Marvel release type joint. I think that's going to be the better ones for sure.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing that I really want to see, and that I always was interested in the character, he just does not have a lot of like content as far as comic book wise, is going to be the Moon Knight. That's one I really want to see, because just the character in itself, like, that can be such a because he suffers from schizophrenia, so he has like 3 different alter egos and everything else. And just to see that portrayed, I think it'll be like, you ever saw Legion?
I read.
I think it'll be similar to that, as far as like how like his personality's taken over and everything else. But that's why I'm more interested. I just want to see how they're going to portray Moon Knight in that movie. Oh, well, not movie, in the series on Disney Plus.
All right. Good. All right, gentlemen, let's go ahead and close it out. We've been going for like 2.5 hours. Didn't realize.
Yeah.
It's 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, go ahead and close us out, Tooga.
All right. So, appreciate everyone tuning in to, the Blerd Lines and our production. Sorry about that. Something popped up on my thing. But yeah, we're going to be doing this more often. Like I said, we're going to have more brackets. Just like how G said earlier, we're going to be doing a bunch of other things. Like I said, I'm going to have my podcast. Once we start at the beginning of January, I'm going to have, it's more people on there doing, more, interviews and their outtakes on just honestly what they're going through in daily life. It's nothing like we're going to be talking about comics and sports and stuff like that. This is just us being real, us showing our struggles, our gains, the things that we deal with as far as mental health and our struggles we have at work and just in life in general. I just want to have that aspect out there, so just to give people an idea that nobody is going to be perfect. Like, you're going to go through struggles, you're going to go through things, and that there's somebody who's going to go through the same thing you're going through, and just hey, they're going through the same thing I'm going through. They're doing it, they're getting through it. Some people just need that right now, especially with the pandemic and everything going on. Depression's at its all-time high, anxiety's at its all-time high. Just a way to get through everything. But like I said, you're going to see a lot more of us. We're going to be doing a lot of other things, so everyone get ready. It's going to be a wild ride.
All right, good. All right, what about you, B White? What you got going on?
Nothing, man. I just look forward to having more of these talks around whatever topics we have. But it's cool to just reconnect with your friends, and like Tooga said, it's just, I guess this is the way of being able to be sociable in this unsocial climate we're in right now. But it's just reaching out and just trying to be as active as possible, keeping my mental and my physical as healthy as possible, and And like I said, just talking with you guys. So looking forward to more Blerd Lines.
All right, yeah. Like I said, welcome to the team. Be White, official member of Blerd Lines. So for Blerd Lines, remember we got the videos on the YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe and select that notification so you get notified when more videos drop. This will be dropping soon, of course. And of course, follow everybody in their social media accounts that will be posted in the description below the video. Again, we do have, of course, our podcast series, Drawing the Line, that you're watching right now. And of course, we also have the podcast with me and Blerd coming, also known as Press Play, where we will be reviewing classic albums. Look for that, start of 2021. With that being said, I want to thank Tooga and Be White for joining me tonight to talk about streaming and just what's going on. And hope everybody's safe. Have a good night. And by the time this video drops, it will be the end of 2020. So it's be our last video for 2020. And we'll be going to 2021 strong. So everyone take care and have a good one.